Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of where we are going live for our AI radio show. And I have to be honest because this is season three and also the fifth episode of season three. So we've been going live for the past five episodes. So I this is different because the past two seasons, the number of episodes, I did have fun researching them and putting them all together and editing them. It was an audio podcast, not like a video podcast like how we do today. So it was fun in its own way, but then this is even more fun because I get to speak live with all of you on three different platforms, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. And I get to share all these amazing insights that I have about in the field of AI. So that's fun, and I hope it's fun for you as well. So if it's fun for you, and again, I wanted to mention one more thing. So the link towards my right, if you can see, oh, it's for some reason not visible. I don't know why. Anyways, that's just a link for you to kind of join my Discord channel. So yeah, I don't know why it's not visible, but anyways, join my Discord channel. The all links all over my any platform you're watching this from. It's on my Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn bio. All the bios of these platforms will have this specific link to join my Discord. So the reason for you to join this Discord is because basically I'll be sharing all of my raw thoughts over there. So I do share things about AI in all of these platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But then those are more curated. Those are not raw. I get an idea, I create that content. It can be a carousel post, or it can be a video, or something like that. But then on like Discord, it's pretty much raw. So if I find something that's new, that is a model just dropped, or a new AI company was born, you will be the first person to know it. So join my Discord. It's currently on my story as well on Instagram if you want to join. So with that being said, I again welcome you all to my fifth episode on season three, and we are doing this live. And this is fun. So here's an announcement on live that the upcoming episodes of all the seasons, I don't know how many seasons, this specific AI radio show is gonna go for. Let's hope at least 50. Anyways, so how many ever seasons this is gonna go for? I am pretty sure that this is gonna be nice. Oh, and I got an comment on Instagram saying that Instagram is better than Discord. All right, that's okay too. I didn't get a subscription option, where I can create a community yet on my Instagram, but if I do get that, I'll create a community here as well. So, yep, with all of those things put out there, I have a couple of things planned for today's episode. So, again, if you've been on my Discord, I would have revealed what it is. So, the agenda for today's radio show, like the segments that we have today, as usual, we have the algorithmic weather segment where, it's practically the AI headlines, if you will, for any AI radio show. So I'll be dropping in all these new AI stuff that's happening all around you. So you don't need to kind of do a deep research or like scroll your LinkedIn or watch a couple of YouTube videos to get all of those news. So it's all handed out to you in just like 5-10 minutes, compressed like a story kind of a headline. And then we are going to be doing something very unique today, which I've never done in the past, which is I'll be introducing you to a specific tool. So this is not any other tool. Basically, it's I know you all would love a no code tool. There are so many options out there like Lovable, Replit. I think OpenAI launched Codex app for macOS. I am yet to try it. So there are so many tools out there, but only a few of them which are free and which is also a kind of a gem. So the tool that we're going to see today is one of those kinds. It's completely free. You need not pay a premium. I mean, it's not like you have a free version and then you have to upgrade to use a couple of features. It's entirely free. And I mean, that tool, I mean, this video is not even sponsored, but discovered the tool only later in my life. And it has like kind of blown me. I'm so mad that I didn't know about it pretty early, because yep, you would also understand where my frustration is from. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. No, to answer your comment, it is not a freemium. It is entirely free. Even if you want to pay for it, you cannot, because no, it's entirely free. Anyways, let's get into the episode. So stay tuned to know what tool it is, and I'll be revealing what specific tool it is right after the algorithmic weather. All right, let's get started with today's episode, shall we? Well, today's episode, I mean, the algorithmic weather, where we discuss about the hot AI news that has happened in the past week, in the past few hours, because AI is like it's like growing at this huge immense pace that it's like very hard to keep up, right? So a lot of things have happened, and you must have seen in the news that Claude introduced a specific set of features which led to the which led to so many stocks going down, because the skills which Claude released are so much better. So the things that have been outsourced previously may not be outsourced again at all. So yeah, that is there. So because of that, a lot of stocks have gone down. And the next thing that we're going to look at is how the Alphabet, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft are together, and they are like, now forecast to spend around $650 billion on AI data centers alone, and AI data centers and the whole infrastructure in 2026. So $650 billion. So that's the largest concentrated capex boom by any group of companies in decades. We're talking decades here. And also, Meta alone is guiding to around $135 billion, which is again freaking amazing. Microsoft around $105 billion, and Alphabet, the parent company of Google, if you're not aware, $185 billion. And Amazon is about $200 billion. Largely, they kind of fund AI chips, data centers, and power. So, yeah, the scale of spending has kind of spooked the investors, and the AI fears and the capex shock out there have triggered some of the biggest single day value losses ever for these stocks, too. And then, like, all of these commentators are calling it $1 trillion wipeout. Now, why does it matter, like, why do you have to know about all of these trends that's going on, like how much is every company investing? So we all had this, if you remember back in 2025, early 2025, we all spoke about how, are we in an AI bubble? Is the bubble gonna burst? Well, this that needs to end, basically, because we are not in a bubble. Because the investors and the investments are basically speaking out for themselves. And the capex arms race, the power grid constraints, and whether these bets can ever be paid back. So this is not a bubble at all of these investments prove that this is not a bubble, and this is going to blow out in a couple of months or even weeks, as we can see. So this is the new internet being built in front of our eyes. So a lot of us were kids back when, the actual internet was built, but we today are like on the forefront of the biggest breakthrough that we're looking at, that's happening in front of our eyes. Now, on another news, we're looking at the strategy of Google and Microsoft. Google is going for the jugular, like they are winning the platform war via kind of sheer balance sheet superiority. Like basically, they've invested $185 billion, and they're going, all alone. They have their own flagship model, and they're not reliable on any of their other third parties out there for language support or ecosystem support or anything else. But Microsoft, on the other hand, as we all know, is this light bothering you? Once again. All right, the light is not going to flicker anymore. But as we were saying, Microsoft is not like Google. It is reliant on OpenAI, and then they have this kind of strategy to work together because that I mean Microsoft does not have any other large language model provided like our Google over here. So why does this matter? Because Google's all-in AI bet versus Microsoft plus OpenAI partnership, and what this means for open source and smaller players, because Google kind of offers this huge ecosystem. In fact, the tool that I was talking about, it's from Google, which you're going to see right after this headlines, the algorithmic weather segment. Anyways, if you think about it, Google already has the workspace where you have get your sheets, your slides, your docs, everything that you need for working, whether you're in corporate or if you're a student, you get the whole package, and you have the free version. You need not pay a premium to get these in, get started with these. And Microsoft, on the other hand, it's not like that, right? Like it's more of a B2B, if you will, not more like, anybody can have it. And also, Google has this ecosystem of products, especially Notebook LM. I'm not sure how many of you joined for one of my Ask Me Anything sessions that I do every weekend, Saturday or Sunday. So, in one of those, I kind of completely broke down what all Notebook LM does. So, basically, Notebook LM, it's an amazing tool. If you have not checked it out, do check it out. So like this, Google has so much to offer, and it has the whole ecosystem to kind of plug in its large language model, Gemini, anywhere it wants. Video generation, bam. Image generation, you have Nano Banana Pro. And plug it all in. How many of you, I don't know if you've known this particular offering by Google called Google Bits. It's practically insane as to how easily you can create videos. So it's not a video generation tool like Google's Flow where you prompt and then it gives you 8-second video. This is basically it's like if your slides can be turned into a video, that's Google Vids for you. So there you can create AI avatars, you can add voiceovers that is AI generated, auto generated via AI without spending any credits. Because let's face it, if you are using any of the third party tools out there like HeyGen or Ayla have heard like today. So all of these are AI avatars which helps you like clone your clone your face and then creates your own AI avatars. But Google offers them for free. But the only hindsight is that these AI avatars are not your face. They are like pretty standard faces out there. But if you are looking forward to kind of starting your own YouTube journey and you're not ready to show your face out to the public, I think this is a good start for you. So yeah, I mean, I'm mentioning all of these things because Google is clearly winning it. And then Microsoft has had a couple of failures in the past 2 years, if you think about it. There is this, Copilot. I don't know who's using it anymore, even though Microsoft has like pushed, so much to kind of integrate it with anything and everything. You get Microsoft 365, Copilot comes along with it. So yeah, I mean, seemed kind of pushy, but then I don't think anybody is using Copilot. If you are using Copilot, please let me know. But anyways, so yeah, in that news, Google is clearly winning. And we did see about OpenClaw, which was initially Claudebot and then became Moltbot, and now it's the final name, it's OpenClaw. So that GitHub repository where you have the open source AI agent that's always on and runs locally and can execute real commands, that received 100,000 GitHub stars in less than a week, which is like the fastest project in the whole of GitHub history to receive such, 100,000 stars. Some of Microsoft's, I'm sorry if I seem like I'm attacking Microsoft for some reason, but then yeah, some of Microsoft's repos are under 5 stars. So yep. Now think about this open source repository that has gained 100,000 GitHub stars. Yeah, and the main thing is like it runs on user hardware. You can practically install it on your personal machine. It gives you kind of in that it is that simple to run. But I highly recommend that you do not run it on your personal machine or in any machine where you have private information, because of how highly vulnerable it is. There are so many security threats just because it's open source and it's not thoroughly governed. And if you connect it to Telegram, WhatsApp, Slacks, or Teams, which you can easily do, you are even more exposing the attack surface onto the public. And also, if you've heard about Moltbook, which was a social media platform for AI agents, I think that was a huge hit as well. The hype has kind of gone down, but then that was crazy. AI agents talking to each other like we do on Reddit, and they built their own religion, they built their own language, they built their own constitution. That was crazy. And yeah, so basically, this um, I think the OpenClaw is like a direct competitor of your Claude Cowork, for which you would have to pay a lot of money to kind of get started with it. But OpenClaw is practically like open source. So you install it and then you plug in any open source large language model out there. You can use Olama, or you can use Olama and then plug in any large language model like Llama or Mistral, or I think Kimi 2.5. It has a open source free trial running right now. If you can host it, it's like free. So yeah, practically you can get started with it right away, and it can control your whole system. I read something on LinkedIn posted by one of the people who experiment with AI. So what he mentioned was, this is a funny story. So one day this person is kind of like in a coding spree, like in a deep focus session, and he is not like thinking about anything else. And suddenly when he looked at his phone, he gets a message from his wife that okay honey, I'll eat without you. And he was shocked because I don't know, like he did not text his wife anything, but to get this response back, like okay honey, I'll eat without you, he went back and checked the chat history. To his surprise, he had given access to the OpenClaw to for his calendar, his task list, and the WhatsApp as well. So what happened was the OpenClaw kind of the AI agent setup that he has implemented looked at his task list and his calendar, and how I mean the past conversation that has happened with his wife, and it decided that it will text his wife like hey honey, don't wait up, eat without me, and I'll come join you, something like that. A text, a very honest text that any husband would text their wife if they are running late. So he was shocked, and then he went back and prompted OpenClaw again and asked, like, why didn't you remind me to send the text, and why did you send the text yourself? For which OpenClaw gave a response which was again mind blowing. So it mentioned that, based on previous activities that it had with this specific user, um, they had the tendency to ignore these reminders like 78% of the time. So OpenClaw decided that, you know, anyway, they're going to ignore this reminder. Why not I just send out the message? And to his surprise, his wife didn't know that it was sent out by a bot. And she mentioned that that was the most considerate message that she had received in the past couple of months. So I don't know how to feel about this. How do you feel? Do you think you would give access to your bot to kind of handle your messages? I think I will, because if you think about it, these family groups in WhatsApp, I don't know how many of you are like active in there. I want to be active, I really do, but it's just too much. Like there are a lot of forward messages for starters, and you have to like be on top of that to see who has this birthday and who has this wedding day coming up, or like who these people are wishing. It's not like, I don't know. It's very hard to keep up. So if I am giving access to WhatsApp to my OpenClaw, I think it probably will be to kind of respond to the uh, WhatsApp messages. So that this stays between us. None of my family members should know about it. So, anyways, heading back to our algorithmic weather section, we were speaking about OpenClaw. We have a question. What do you think of future of IT services jobs like TCS, HCL, and all? Okay, this is a very good question because we just spoke about it in the beginning of the session. So basically, a lot of stocks have gone down in the past 2 weeks. I mean, past 2 days, because Claude announced a specific set of skills that it can do, which are basically done manually by outsourcing it to Indian service-based companies like TCS, HCL, and so on. So my take in this is that it I mean, I don't think it will be entirely shut down because AI agents kind of have taken over. But you can expect a lot of layoffs, because the job which would eventually essentially needed around 4 to 5 people can be done by a single AI agent. So these routine tasks, which have been done manually by a huge team, those there are chances that it can be done by an agent, and not autonomously, but there will be one human who is like overseeing it. If the organization has this good governance policy implemented, this would be the case. So yeah, it will not be completely shut down. The company might not go down, but several layoffs might happen. The manpower might be cut down, so that is bound to happen, and it's already happening if you think about it. Not in Amazon. The Amazon layoffs have nothing to do with AI, but there are a couple of organizations which are cutting down manpower, which is alarming. But I guess to stay on top of it, like to secure your jobs, there are two things that you can do, which I don't think it's the scope of this AI radio show. And yeah, to tell you quickly, because there was a question. It is, there are two things that you can do basically. So keep yourself equipped with what's going on in the AI world and learn these new skills. You can practically learn them for free. There are a lot of YouTube resources out there that teaches you these techniques, these new models, these new tools for free, and you can practically explore many of them because a lot of them are open source as well. So all you need is a good laptop, not this high tech. You don't need Mac Mini or this huge GPU. A good, considerate laptop with proper RAM and storage. So that's all you need, and you can kind of keep equipping yourself. And yeah, practically that's the one thing that you can do. The second thing is, you know um, we we are kind of at an impasse right now. I don't know how many of you are like happy with the jobs that you currently have, and how far have you looked at to the future. So if you close your eyes and just think about it, would you be doing this job, with whatever job that you're currently in, like 10 or 20 years down the line? And imagine yourself doing the same thing 10, 20 years down the line. Do you think you would do it? And would you think you would be happy doing it? Well, if you are happy, well, I'm happy for you. But I'm assuming that a lot majority of you might not be. So the second best thing to do is basically, put yourself out there. Do something on the side. I understand that not many of us would have the advantage of, like, simply quitting the job and starting our own, whatever you're doing as side hustle, doing that full time. I understand that that might not be the case for many of you out there. But then it's always like, I mean, nobody's stopping you from starting something on the side. Dedicate like 1 or 2 hours every day to work on this side hustle, so that it eventually grows and you need not be financially dependent on another corporate to, kind of your daily needs. So yeah, that's one of the second thing to do, which is kind of a short thing for anybody, because let's face it, with the AI boom, with the evolving AI nature, I think it's pretty much very very soon that jobs might be kind of not exist anymore. At least redundant jobs may not exist anymore. So it's high time that we have a black backup plan, and we think about it at least. So yeah, I've deviated too much. Now moving back to our algorithmic weather. Um, yeah. So again, OpenClaw, as I mentioned, it's kind of very amazing tool out there which you can automate on your own. But it also comes with security threats, because it is a fully autonomous AI agent. So you give it access to all of your tools. So when user kind of installs OpenClaw locally, and then it kind of gets exposed, because if you leave it at its default settings, a lot of ports are open and it gets compromised. A lot of attackers are out there who are like exploring the many vulnerabilities that comes with OpenClaw, and a lot of supply chain attacks happen. So if you have given it access to your I don't know, photos or WhatsApp or your any messaging platform or your entire laptop, I think you have to revisit the kind of security settings that you put forth. And I did kind of create a guide with all of these security, I mean, how to securely implement OpenClaw. So it is on my top mid page, and the link you can find it in any of my bios. So yeah, you can get it from there and you can try of kind of like implement it, or you can rent a AWS VPS session, like this EC2 instance on free tier. It's like practically, if you just host OpenClaw over there and not install anything else, it's practically free. And you, if you sign up, you get a 6 month free trial with 100 credits. So I don't think you have to pay anything to get started. So that's there. Yeah, so that's about the security issues that come along with the OpenClaw. Then that's kind of a nightmare out there. And on the other news, we have like Microsoft. There is a vulnerability in Microsoft that's been going on right now. So basically, the trigger in the haystack, it's what it's called. So the poison model, they kind of memorize whatever trigger data that they had, and then the scanner kind of prompts the model with its own tokens. So with this, backdoor that's like leaked all of the tokens out there, it leaks even more information. So basically, this is a this kind of happens and shows like distinctive internal patterns. And by prompting them, these models have their own chat template tokens, and then the scanner can often kind of leak the poisoned examples, which is, again, this method then checks for like attention hijacking and other signatures that's available. And if the model has these attention logs, and then it logs onto this trigger independent of surrounding context, which is, again, I don't know, In kind of like in the test that they did, 47 sleeper agent models on which this test was done, they detected around 88% of fixed output backdoors with zero false positives on 13 models, if you will. So why this matters, and why such a experiment was done, is because a huge story for open weight models are the new malware vector. Because as we saw in OpenClaw, there are so many backdoors which are not addressed, and which leaves so many things vulnerable and out in the open. um, and on the next news out there, we have, yes, compute is power, like literally, because the race is kind of shifting from chips, like NVIDIA chips, to gigawatts of energy. And today, if you, I saw a post on LinkedIn by Gary Vee. So he posted that electricians are the most, their jobs will be the most wanted in the coming years, because in the past 30, 40 years, it's been, electricians were kind of like, kind of treated like your third world category jobs, if you will. That's how the world treated them. But today, there are a lot of stuff these white collar jobs can do, which can be done by AI agents. But something that needs to be done physical, we are not there yet with physical AI out there. So electricians are required to maintain these grids, the power grids that essentially power all of the GPUs of these big companies, these big AI giants. So yeah, that is kind of a unique post that I read. And China is kind of ramping up on massive energy infrastructure, especially for AI critical tasks. So China's like way ahead. It's like it was way ahead when, in terms of when chip was the new oil. It's still the new oil, but then China is like today way advanced when it comes to massive energy infrastructure as well. So the reality over here is that whoever controls abundant and cheap power will continue long term, and will continue long term training these models, and launching them out of the public. So this kind of validates the $650 billion capex thesis that we saw, because and then the whole infrastructure would be the main bottleneck there. Moving on, Trump has like issued a AI policy where, that in order to ensure a national policy framework for artificial intelligence, that is now the front and center in February commentary and compliance coverage from the White House. So the goal is to kind of reduce the patchwork of state AI rules by letting federal agencies challenge state laws that conflict with national AI framework. So the analysts on this specific news, they stress that this does not preempt state law yet. Instead, it signals intent and pushes toward a lighter, more unified federal regime, which states rules remain in force for now, at least. Now, for customers, for like compliance and enterprise AI leaders, the takeaway is like, the barriers to scaling AI might fail, but also the responsibility shifts to strong internal governance, not just kind of like box ticking against some regulation just to get approval. But why does this matter? Because it leads to lighter federal guardrails and faster AI adoption. And also, this might lead to a lot of, attackers being, prone to all of these open source models as well. So there is a lot in play over here. And then, yeah, I guess only time can tell. Moving on, we have, yeah, the enterprise sales war is happening in 2024. It was more about model capabilities, right? So which model, there were benchmarks, and each time a new model was released, the owners of these models would be like, this outperformed this model and this outperformed that model. But now it is slowly shifted towards service delivery, because let's face it, in 2022 when ChatGPT was launched, yep. I think everybody was pretty excited, because that's one of the first times that we all got to experience the magic or the power of large language model in real time that was given to us for free. But this is 2026 now, and ChatGPT launch seems like a far distant past. Today, we want the experience to be user friendly, and I think over time we have kind of created this specific I don't know practice of getting more convenient when it comes to AI. Am I right? How many of you listening to this, you do not type anymore in your AI chatbots? You just like use the microphone button to speak out, and it generates all the text. I mean, I do it all the time. So yeah, so when it comes to who's gonna win, who's gonna make more money out of it. So these are the providers, these large language model or AI providers who focus on service delivery, but also model capabilities. So it's balance, if you will. Moving forward, compliance have finally has caught up because the EU AI Act Task Force has like issued a specialized compliance support units, which is kind of like very much needed in this open source, open claw, or and all of those open source models, which is bringing out the vulnerabilities. And also, there are a lot of due diligence tools that's been launched, and healthcare accountability is even more important, and people are kind of focusing on AI is needed in healthcare, but with kind of accountability by either the AI providers or by those who implement them. So I think all of those are coming in. And then, yeah, as we saw, we are not in an AI bubble anymore, because despite like a lot of stock market and a lot of stocks are crashing, the purchase of hardware and the power requirement is surging. So which means that yeah, this bubble is not going to burst. So we have to like get over it. Moving forward, so the kind of strategic takeaways from this algorithm weather, I mean, we've spoken a lot today. So yeah, monitor capex and not stock prices. Stock prices might go down, but then these investments have also gone up. So and also quarantine your agentic AI. If you're implementing any open source models, first try it out in a virtual private servers before implementing it on your personal laptop. And also audit the supply chain, because you never know when you're going to be attacked. And secure the energy. I don't know, as consumers, I don't know how we can do that, but this news is for the AI giants out there. And if you are working in these any of these AI giants, I think um, long term these compute costs and energy availability might become a bottleneck in making these large language models available, and that might kind of influence the kind of the pricing on all of these models as well. So that's the end of the algorithmic weather, and today, as I promised, we will get switch straight to the next segment, where I'll be introducing the tool that I'm, ranting or like ravaging about. So before that, let's have a quick break because I've been talking for too long. All right, welcome back. So this segment is all going to be about the specific tool that we've been speaking about. All right, it's time to reveal this special tool to you listeners. So drum roll, please. This is none other than anti-gravity, Google's anti-gravity. So yeah, as I mentioned, there are a lot of no-code platforms out there, which kind of are paid, and you have to pay like 20 $25 a month, and then it's all credit based. So if you exhaust the credit, you have to like pay even more to get those credits. But there has been this specific anti-gravity that's been there all along, which is completely free. You need not pay a premium to keep access or keep building. All you need is to install this particular tool. Let me quickly share my screen so that you get to see that in action. So what we're going to do today is practically make use of anti-gravity and build a simple tool, if you will. So it's not like a tutorial to build that specific tool, but it helps you to kind of get to know about the whole platform. I've only recently started using it, so it would be a great learning for me as well. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna quickly share my screen. Okay, I think I'd have to share my entire screen because I don't have an option to share a window. That's okay. I'll share my entire screen. All right, here. Oops, that's just my Discord. All right, let's get into anti-gravity. I hope you can see my screen. Yup. All right, let's close that. All right, so this is anti-gravity for you. Let me just get this going. All right, so this is practically anti-gravity, and this is pretty much zoomed in. Let me fix that. Oops. All right, let's just not do this. All right, so this is your entire IDE. I know it looks like your regular VS Code or something, which you may not be comfortable with. And I don't know if you can see the whole screen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off my camera and make this the full screen. All right, so I hope it's visible for those of you, especially on Instagram, because it's already a small screen. Anyways, this whole interface might look like your Visual Studio Code, and you might be threatened if you, especially if you're from the non-tech background, to know that this sounds intimidating. You have so many clone repository, or you're like asked to create a file on your own. So we are going to break all of those fears today, because this is like any other no code platform out there where you just prompt and it gives you everything. So before that, how do you download this specific software? So basically you go onto Google and type anti-gravity. You get this anti-gravity, the first link out there, and you just download it. So it's as simple. And after you download, you might be asked to, you will be asked to sign in. So sign up or sign in using your Google account. Again, that's pretty simple. Am I right? So once you do that, yeah, you will have this interface ready as soon as you do that. Now, there are a couple of things you have to know about this, which is again very simple once you know about it. So, I figured. So, how do you want to enable to optimize? No, I've started off. So, let's see if this Zoom works. Still, all right, I'm just like giving up. Okay, so a couple of things that you need to know about the anti-gravity is that you can practically create a folder here, or open a specific folder if you have something already, or clone a repository, which is if you have GitHub kind of enabled, and if you have a repository that you want to work on, you can clone it from there, or simply create a folder and then start from there. So that's as simple. That's similar to your Visual Studio Code. Or if you are like me and you do not want to do these tasks yourself, these menial tasks, you can make use of this specific interface over here, where you can prompt stuff. So basically you can kind of uh, prompt it over here, and you can choose a model, whichever model you're comfortable with. And you also have the Claude Opus 4.5, and these models kind of like you have to link your API. If you have a paid version of it, you can do that, or you can use any of the Gemini model, which is basically if you're on a Google Pro version, you get around I don't know. I've never exhausted uh, you know my credits for these models because I don't know. I've never exhausted it. So I'm on Google Pro. It refreshes like 5,000 tokens every few hours. If you're on a free tier, it would be comparatively lower. But I've tried this with one of my free tier Google accounts as well. So I've never exhausted. So unless you're coding 24 bar 7, um, I think you don't have anything to worry about it. So, anyways, you can practically enter your prompts here, and anti-gravity, the agents behind it, would do the work for you, even create folders and files. So now you also have this agent manager. If you open agent manager, you can create multiple AI agents. So that's what is kind of being described here. So create multiple agents, and go back to your editor window and do the manual code if you are someone who prefers that. Um, and basically, yeah, these multiple agents would kind of work in the background. It's not like one agent is dependent on the other. It could be if you design it that way, but multiple agents can work in parallel, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. Yes, so you have your agent manager, you have your editor where you're gonna create different files and folders, or you can ask the AI agent to create those folders for you. So, the use case that we're going to do today is basically create a portfolio for myself. I mean, I already have one, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be creating another portfolio, which you can try today using anti gravity, using these exact similar steps. And I'll tell you, I've not done this before. So, if I get stuck somewhere, you are stuck with me. Anyways, so for this, what we're going to do is basically a couple of things. So I'm going to go here to my LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to save my profile as a PDF. So as you can see, this is my whole LinkedIn in the form of a PDF. So it has my education, history of like wherever I worked in, my about section, summaries, and so on. So now that we have this specific summary, so this information is what I'm going to be using to create my portfolio. For that, I'm going to go in here into Gemini, and I'm gonna upload my profile over here. So here I'm gonna give a simple prompt that, as I promised, I'm not gonna type here, I'm gonna talk to it. Hey, I am planning to build a portfolio website for myself, and this is my attached PDF with the all the details that you need. It's basically from my LinkedIn. Using that information, I am going to use anti-gravity to no code the whole coding for me. So help me with a detailed prompt so that anti-gravity builds this for me. So yeah, there are a couple of typo, and I I have this Indian accent, so I don't think Gemini does really well. So if you look at it, oh, what is this? No code tool that does the coding for me. So anti gravity. All right. So once you have your prompt ready, you just, I'm not going to think. I'm just going to go in fast mode and send. So what will happen here is that it's like a very good strategy for you to kind of use to get your first prompt going, not just for anti-gravity, but for any no-code platform that you can think of. So, uh, so it has given me a prompt. So that you do not burn through the credits of that no-code platform. You have a prompt pre-built, which is pretty much detailed. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is simply copy this, and I'm gonna be pasting it over here. Okay, so here there are a couple of conversation modes which you can pick from: planning and then fast. So planning is when you kind of you want your agent to think through and deeply think about it, create an implementation plan, and after that it executes the task for you. Fast mode is simply it kind of like acts fast, so you can decide which one you want to do. I always recommend going for a planning mode in the beginning, and then the fast mode for when you want to make tweaks to the coding that you're doing. So I'm choosing planning, and as I mentioned, you can choose any model you want. So I'm going with the default Gemini 3 Pro over there, and I'm going to click send. So while that's working, let me turn on my video. Oops, so I can talk to you again. All right. So as you can see, this is kind of pretty epic because it's like thinking, and it is already thought, and it is analyzed, and it has also kind of faced an error during tool execution. So something called MCP, server knowledge not found. I'm pretty sure it can fix it on its own. So it's like creating a new project because this directory is empty. And yeah, in practically seconds, it built a task list and an implementation plan as well. So you can just kind of go through this. So it has the project structure plan of creating this index.html file, which would basically be your your the website that you're going to be building, and the CSS file, the main JavaScript file, and so on. So basically, yeah, these are the sections that are going to be there, which were there in your prompt. So a hero section, an about me section, and also some kind of a yeah. These are the tools that I have listed over there. These are the products that I've built. So I think it has this task kind of looks really good. So what we are supposed to do is, like, once we review it, and if you have any comments over here, you can submit it, and it will type in here and submit it, and it will retweak this implementation plan for you. So yep, based on this implementation plan, this is a task list it has created on its own. So this is pretty cool, right? And once you've reviewed it, go back to your implementation plan and click on proceed. So what happens here? Oh, did I get it? Proceed. Ah, you have to click proceed over here. Sorry, my bad. Anyways, it has proceeded, and it's in the execution phase. So in just a couple of minutes, yeah, it is asking you, progress. It is asking you for permissions as and when you kind of, it executes a specific task, which you can kind of modify to, run in, whether to run in sandbox or whether to ask you for these things and everything. So you can run autonomously if you want, but I would recommend, you review these stuff so that you don't end up regretting something you didn't want to build, or something. There was this time when Replit kind of deleted the entire folders and files of its specific user, and they have to like kind of cover up because Reddit didn't actually delete it. So if you don't want to be ending up in such a pickle, so I think clicking on run here and there, I think that should be fine. Now, yeah, so it has run into a couple of errors, which is it's like kind of figuring it out on its own. So while installing the necessary files and folders, it did not have a specific dependency. So it's like reinstalling and thinking. And one more thing is that you can actually kind of use any kind of programming language. You can ask the agent to use Python if you're comfortable with Python, or you can leave it as is. To basically you would do it in when you're giving your agent the prompt. So yep, this is currently using React, and basically other, I mean, compared to Python, React gives you a couple of cool visuals if you've used it priorly. So it is still working. So now, as it's working, I'd show you one more thing basically. So let's open this agent manager over here, and this in the playground. This is something that's being currently happening. So as it's happening, you can literally go and look at the files it's being created if you are into reviewing the code on your own, or if you want to be entirely no code, you can literally skip all of these. So again, it has prompted me to run this server. So yeah, um, this is a terminal command that's being run now. Yeah, so while this is doing its own stuff, creating the cool portfolio for me, what I can do is basically um, sorry so what I can do is basically create multiple agents over here to do multiple tasks for me. So I can start the conversation, skipping it, I can start the conversation, and I can ask it to kind of what do I want to ask? If you think of any use case for me to add to my portfolio that I'm creating, please feel free to let me know. So anyways, I'll switch to fast mode and also add a link to my LinkedIn profile, something like that. This is a very basic thing that I'm giving my agent to do, but then you can think of anything complex to add as well. So that creates another session over here. So if you this if you let it, it would run on its own. Now parallelly, I think it has created it's letting me know that it is ready with a walkthrough. So let's open the walkthrough, and you can see basically how to run the site if you want to run it manually. But you have this index.html which you can open, um, and you can even comment on the files. So yeah, if you click on this, there you go. This specific portfolio, it was built entirely by this no code platform, Anti-Gravity. Now, do you agree with me? Oh, I thought I was showing you my face. But now, do you agree with me? It is currently running on localhost, but you can deploy it on Render for free, or there are a lot of hosting platforms which offer you free trial, which you can leverage. But look, I mean, on very first try, it has given me the company name, my company name, and has given me a hero section. Explore my work takes me to my journey as to how where I started, the technical skills. Okay, I'll slowly scroll down. So in the about me section, you can find a couple of, oh, it has created its own summary. It's not even using the summary from my LinkedIn. And it's segregated who I am into three buckets, and it has given me my journey, the technical skills that I currently have, and then the publications that I've made. This is this is pretty amazing. The education and the two products that I've built. Let me check if this is accessible. No, this is not accessible. So you get the point, right? You can practically go back and then kind of prompt your agent into adding the links or making any other tweaks that you want. So it has even created tags where you can kind of navigate via this navigation bar over here. And Medium, does it open to my it does open to my Medium account, which is cool. It has already linked all of these things. Does it lead to my LinkedIn? Yes, it does. So you can change this footer if you want. Basically, it has kind of given me my entire portfolio in just a single prompt, right? So, yeah, I think, I mean, this agent, we have not even approved this agent's task list yet, but only this specific prompt, from a single prompt, I have this whole new platform, I mean, portfolio right and ready. So if this is not exciting, and this is why I mentioned that I was so angry that I did not stumble upon this amazing open source tool, long before I just like learned about it. So, oh, what does this do? Okay, I think it is kind of made a top mate link, but this is not the top mate link. But yeah, you can practically code and then prompt to change it. So I think what I'm trying to say here is basically we have an open source, free, no code application development tool right under our nose all this time, and all you have to do is practically get started. Install anti-gravity today and get started. All right. I hope you learned something new from today's session. If you've already used anti-gravity, please let me know in the chat or let me know in the comments wherever you're watching it from. And if you've learned this, the replay, if you've missed it and you kind of like joined very late to the session, if you want to watch it again, it's available on my YouTube and it will be available on my LinkedIn as well. Or if you are someone who wants to read through the summary of what happened here, you can practically subscribe to my newsletter or be on my Discord to get to know all of these. All right, this has been really good. Look at that, it's been 1 hour already. And yep, I think that's all I had for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, or if you need more clarity on the tool, the anti-gravity, you can always hit me up on any of these platforms. I'm always on top of my messages on these platforms. Or like I said, you can join my Discord where you can directly interact with like-minded people. It's a huge community where you can kind of share your thoughts and get feedback instantly from like-minded community. All right, with that being said, I think we'll sign out for today. Happy weekend, you guys. And don't forget to tune back in on Sunday for Ask Me Anything session, which is basically you can ask me any question you want. And also, now I'm thinking, um, along with Ask Me Anything, should I do anything else? Like, introduce any other tool, like we introduced anti gravity today. So let me know in the comments of any of these platforms. So I'll pick that. And if you have any questions priorly, make sure that you ask them in any of the comments or DM me your questions. I'll start from there. I'll start from your questions. And yes, practically we're done. And yep, happy weekend. I'll see you soon.
That's the signal for today. We're powering down slow. You've been tuned to the AI radio show. Arthi on the mic, keeping future in sight, turning every idea into pure insight. Stay curious, stay sharp, stay ready.